No, this is my laundry. They got it.
They all told us you were coming.
So who's my birthday person?
Josh.
Oh, yeah. How old are you now?
You want daddy? Okay.
6? Congratulations. You're 6 too? How many people are 6?
I'm 10.
Come here. If you were 6 a long time ago.
I'm 9.
Okay, is everybody ready?
Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Josh's 6th birthday party! My name is Daryl, and my show's called Snake Encounters because you're all about to encounter a whole bunch of snakes. Whoa! I've already got one crying.
We'll take him out of here.
How many people here are nervous about that? The only good snake's a dead snake. Daddy, go get the hoe. Yes, well, I specialize in the truly petrified. I kid you not, I've had little old ladies who were afraid of snakes their whole life end up at the end of my show with a snake around their neck, grinning from ear to ear.
Well, we have a little old lady.
Well, perfect.
This is the great grandma.
I mean the lady, not the snake. So, we're going to start small. We're going to start with the first question everybody always asks me, which is, of course, did you bring anything poisonous?
No.
No?
No.
There are 4 kinds of venomous snakes in Texas. Does anybody think that that includes cobras? No, there are no cobras in Texas. Except when some bozo lets one loose here. Does anybody remember a couple of years ago there was a news story about a cobra that was loose under a building in Oak Lawn in Dallas? And there was an idiot, an expert, who had to go into the building to go after it. That was me. Yeah, we'll come back to that. But no, here in Texas we have 4 kinds of venomous snakes. Somebody already said rattlesnake. What else do we have?
He's telling you it's not scary, honey. That's what he's
We
telling
have
you.
rattlesnakes, copperheads.
Listen. They don't get on the ground. He's going to
You're asking me, I'm asking you.
I don't know.
Water snakes are not venomous, but water moccasins are. So,
Listen.
by the way,
You
one of the ways to tell that somebody's into snakes,
don't have to.
it'll be okay, I promise.
You do not have to talk.
One of the ways, nobody's ever forced to do anything.
You do not have to talk.
One of the ways to tell that somebody's into snakes is that they have a lot more pillowcases than they have pillows.
Do you train the snakes?
Nobody trains a snake.
There's snakes in there!
There are snakes that are used to people, but there are no snakes that are trained to do tricks. A snake will not fetch. A snake will not roll. A snake will roll over, but it's not because he's trying to play dead. Right? All right, here we go. We have rattlesnakes, we have copperheads, we have water moccasins. What's the other one? What's the last one?
Coral.
I'm kidding. We have coral snakes.
That's a real one!
Yes, it's a real one. There's no animatronics in my show. Now, fortunately for me, however, this is not a coral snake. I wouldn't be holding him this way, would I?
It's a rattlesnake.
He's not a rattlesnake. What is he? What is he?
Come on, Ken.
No, he's not a cobra.
You have a cobra?
This is called a milk snake. Why are you supposed to call him a milk snake?
Because it likes milk.
Likes milk. How many people think he likes milk? That's where he got his name. The farmers found him hanging out in the dairy barns with the milk cows. So they thought he must be there to drink the milk. You can imagine 4 of these attached to a cow like a milking machine. Very sharp teeth. Sharp teeth. Imagine the cow standing still for this. No, they were there because there were mice and rats in the barn. This is a constrictor, just like the big boas and pythons that you're going to be meeting. No, of course not.
No.
Absolutely not. Now, how do you tell the difference between this and the real coral snake? Red and yellow? There's a little rhyme. How's it go? Red and yellow?
Kill a fellow.
Kill a fellow. Notice that nowhere does the red touch the yellow. This is red and black. Venom lax, safe for Jack, no need to jump back, don't have an attack. Harmless little milk snake. But if you live here in McKinney, Texas, and you see a snake that looks like this, don't bother with the rhyme. It's going to be the coral snake. The one that looks like this that isn't a coral snake doesn't live here. So if you see him, he'll be the venomous coral snake. So what do you do if you see him?
Don't care to say around.
You don't do what?
Say around.
Run.
Don't listen to you.
Yeah, well, don't bother with the rhyme. You're right. But I mean, what do you do if you see the snake?
Run!
Run is good. Run is overkill, but run will do.
Scream!
Try not to run into any trees.
Scream!
And screaming will make no difference whatever.
I chase you!
What do you do?
Call you and make you get it.
Call me? Yes, but I live in Lancaster. That's an hour and a half away. This is not good. Does anybody think you should tell a grown-up? Frequently the worst thing you can do.
Yes!
All you have to do if you see a snake is take 2 steps back and go play somewhere else. Okay? The fastest snake in Texas goes 6.5 miles an hour. A kid who has seen the snake can easily do 15. Alright? You're faster than he is. He cannot chase you down. He also cannot grab his tail in his mouth and roll down a hill like a hoop at you. There are a lot of people in Texas who still believe in the hoop snake. There's no such thing as a hoop snake. Anybody here? Did you know that there's no such thing as a poisonous snake?
No.
If the snake is venomous, I'm in trouble if he bites me. If he's poisonous, I'm in trouble if I bite him. You get the difference. Snakes, just a minute. Snakes are not poisonous. Snakes taste like chicken. And if there really had been a food shortage, my house was Y2K ready. You guys have no idea what I'm talking about. Trust me, your parents are still sitting on a stash of freeze-dried food. So, yes?
There's some snakes nowadays.
There are some snakes that are venomous. There are no snakes that are poisonous. Now, actually, it's really a technicality because you're right. If you look at the Webster's Dictionary definition of poisonous, about the 12th definition does sort of apply. So it's really, you don't want to go around calling people idiots for saying poisonous snake. But technically speaking, a snake is venomous, not poisonous, if he's venomous at all. Okay, does anybody here have a pet snake?
No.
Is anybody here thinking of trying to talk mom or dad into a pet snake?
Never.
Well, when mom says no, you can try this and I make no guarantees, but you can't say, look mom, it doesn't bark. It doesn't chew up the shoes. It doesn't piddle on the floor. It only eats about every week and a half, which is about how often someone your age remembers to feed it. So you could be worse. However,
Feed it dog food.
no, you can't feed it dog food. However,
Feed it
a snake in the yard is a wild animal and should not be a pet. But there are plenty of snakes that are hatched in captivity. All they know is life in a cage, and they're happy with it. My favorite, what do you call a snake that eats rats?
King Cobra.
We didn't give him a script.
Okay.
What do you call a snake that eats rats?
Red.
A rat snake.
I
I know that's a tough question. Here we go. My favorite pet rat snake is definitely the red rat snake. Now, this is the most popular pet snake in the world. Does anybody know the other name for the red rat snake? Corn snake. Why do they call it a corn snake?
It likes corn.
Likes corn? There are no vegetarian snakes.
No, and cornfields is a lot of
Lives in a cornfield, good guess, but wrong. It is called a corn snake because the underside looks like Indian corn.
Oh, cool. Lily, look at that.
Isn't that cool?
Wow.
Don't ask me why they need a checkerboard on their tummies. I do not know. I had one kid tell me that it must be for camouflage in the game room.
You're saying
Now, the hardest part when you're trying to talk mom into a pet snake, when you're trying to talk...
crazy. He's trying to bite you.
Quite crazy, yes. The hardest part when you're trying to talk mom into a pet snake is almost always the food. Most moms are not happy about extra mice in the house.
Hello, he's going down to your eyes.
So where do you suppose I keep all my mice?
Hey! Basement.
In the freezer. Frozen mice don't smell as bad as the ones in the cage. They don't eat as much.
They don't eat
Best of all, frozen mice do not fight back when something eats them. See, in the wild, if the snake doesn't want the mouse runs away. But in the cage, the mouse gets bored, the mouse gets hungry. Eventually the mouse is chewing on the snake.
He's going in his pocket.
And there's nothing sadder than a snake that's afraid of its food. And these days you can buy the mice already frozen. There is a nationwide company called Mice on Ice. UPS delivers them frozen to your door. What can Brown do for you?
Look at his head going in.
Now the tricky part. Is that a snake in your? No, never mind. Now,
It's a pocket snake that goes into your pocket.
That's a different show.
that's a completely different joke. But I do love to do adult crowds. So. Now the tricky part is you cannot feed your snake a mouseicle.
You see that, Cameron?
You have to thaw the mouse. Now take my advice. Take my advice. Do not use the microwave. That's right. Nothing will put Mom off the idea of your new pet snake faster than exploding mice. I put them in a baggie. You know how I do it? I put them in a baggie in warm water. You know what I call it? Minute mice. Add a little pasta and it's mice-a-roni.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Does each snake eat one mouse?
Well, that depends.
Okay.
If it's a big snake, it eats a bunch of mice,
Oh,
or it
okay.
eats one bigger rat, or that sort of thing. If you get the right size animal for that snake, then yes, one is usually enough for that week and a half or so. Yeah.
So how many mice do you go through?
About $300 worth a year a month.
They in the pocket.
I've got 45
Hold
snakes.
the snakes.
And bunch together a little bit. Yes.
Is there a lot of snakes in there?
This is my laundry.
That's not.
Okay, you're about to meet the first of 3 different kinds of boas you're going to meet today.
Uh-oh, that's pretty cool.
Now, what is the first word that comes to your mind when I say the word boa? Constrictor. All boas are constrictors, but not all boas are boa constrictors. Although I have to tell you the most creative answer I ever got to that question, I said, what's the first word that comes to your mind when I say the word boa? And one little boy said narrow. Boa and narrow. I'm not making this up. Now, not all boas are really big. This one obviously can't be. Now this one.
It's in a small box.
This one lives in the trees near the Amazon. So what are you supposed to call it?
Tree snake.
An Amazon tree boa. So here we go.
Tree snake.
There he is. Isn't he huge?
No.
That's right. Not all boas are really big. This one is tiny because it looks like a vine. That's how he hides in the trees, is by looking like a vine. But if he knows that you know that he's not a vine, sometimes he'll act like a tree viper.
So that's why you don't
Did you
hold them
see
with
that?
your hands.
Oh, okay.
Hi, little snake.
It helps to know how far they can reach. You see, he has no fangs. There are no venomous boas, but all snakes do have teeth. They're needle sharp and they curve inward to keep the food from sliding back out. It's like one way only, do not exit severe tar damage. So if he bites my nose, which usually appears to be his goal in life, if I tried to pull him off my nose, I'd be digging the teeth in deeper. So it's fun. Now, do you know what tree boas are best at? You know what they're best at?
What? No.
Hanging on to the tree. See, he does not want to fall. He hangs on tight. You know why snakes are afraid of falling? You would be too with no arms and legs.
What's the charger?
Notice the knot that he's tied around the tree. It's starting to remind you of a medical symbol.
Whoa, he's like a little vine.
He's like a little vine.
Now this will make him hard to get off of the tree. This will be one of your better chances to see me get bit. For some reason the crowd always loves it when that happens. So here we go.
I wanted to bite you.
Yeah, I know you did. All right, here we go.
Him to bite your nose. I want him
Tail
to bite
please,
your
yes.
nose.
Tail. There. Here. bad.